No. What we need to do is to put the state as a custodian of the land, and all of us, nothing changes. Wherever you are, you remain there. We will all make application to have the right of use. So if this is my house, I'll say, I need to continue occupying this place. I'm using it for residential purposes. I've got this piece of land, I'm using it for agricultural purposes. And then from there, once that is done, the remaining of the land, which no one says I'm doing anything here, shall be allocated to the people who do not have the land and do not even have the resources to buy such land. That includes the urban land, by the way, not just a rural land, so that our people can be closer to resources, closer to where they work, closer to where they do business. In that way, you won't be compromising food security, because the current farmer that produces the whatever they are producing, they are not tampered with. The only thing they've lost is the relevance of that paper called the title deed. But otherwise, their machines, their houses, everything still under them. They control that.
We invite you to come to the table and realize that nothing means anything for our people except their dignity in the land ownership. For a lasting peace, security, and justice, land must be expropriated without compensation for equal redistribution. Would have failed those who came before us if we were to pay anyone for having committed a genocide. We cannot thank them for having killed innocent people who were fighting to protect their own land. Many people say people who came here, they were running away from their own problems in Europe, and our people welcomed them here in South Africa. It is not true. Why would you engage in a program to kill people who have welcomed you? Those who are saying we must pay for the land are actually arguing us that we must thank those who killed our people, because those who did so, they did so with an intention of wiping out a black generation. We must ensure that we restore the dignity of our people without compensating the criminals who stole our land. Those who continue to protect these crimes are themselves accused of crime, because those who protect crime are criminals themselves. All of us must come together and say, enough is enough. Our people must get the land.
Why? Because you are refusing to release the land. Black people will never own the land. They don't have money. They will never have money, because the ownership of the land is the one that results in you having the money. So the struggle has always been about property ownership. It was never about driven in 1 million BMW. It was never about driven with bodyguards. It was about the property ownership. So we need the state to then say, all of this land, including Malema's house, everyone else, this land belongs to the state. And then it shall be allocated back to the same person. If it's residential under so and so. If it's an office park, it's office park under so and so. We lease it back to you as the state, as long as a purpose is clearly defined on what that piece of land is used for. Once we have done that, you must see how much pieces of land we are going to remain with, because there's too much land out there. Then that which remains then gets to be allocated for those who have been looking for land but cannot afford to get that piece of land. When I was coming here, I got a call from a young lady who says, I've got the money, I want to do a chicken farm, and there's no piece of land. I cannot afford to buy a piece of land. But if allocated a piece of land, then I can invest in that piece of land and do a chicken farm. So there will never be a chicken farm, because there's no piece of land. And when you look for a piece of land, is extremely expensive. Let every piece of land be occupied and the purpose be clearly defined. What are you using this land for?
Expropriate land without compensation. We had a meeting here in Sandton, the EFF and the ANC, to agree on the formulation that goes into the constitution. Bulelani Nguka was there, some advocate of the ANC, Malindi was there, Lamola was there, Kaba was there. Lamola and this one were together. From the Youth League, we've been pushing this. Lamola opposed the expropriation of land without compensation the way we expected Bulelani Nguka to oppose it. Bulelani Nguka said, this is a good deal for our people who must agree with this. We need to agree that we're going to expropriate land without compensation. Kaba went outside to speak to whoever on the phone, and then they came back, they said, no, it's not going to happen.